Shalom and all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai on this Burnt Toast Tuesday once again. Hey, and we're about to hit this last final part of the Kings. Getting into it. Hope y'all had a great last week. Happy Feast of Purim that you had that. Happy Feast of Nicanor, Destruction of Nicanor. We had a good time at ours. I don't know how y'all did, but all praises to the ones that did and the one that celebrated, man. We had gave a good class on it. Everything went well with the class and all that stuff. So, man, if you hadn't tuned into those classes, man, go back and watch them. I think the Wednesday class was the Destruction of Nicanor, and then the Sabbath class, they did the Purim. And not only that, they went and did the Captain Jerubbaal finished up Esther and the things that were going on at the Purim at that time. So, man, go back and watch them classes, man. Like I said, welcome again. Burnt Toast Tuesday, baby. We almost finished now. We had already scraped up all that burnt toast, man. It's almost time to just finish this toast. We're going to finish it today. Yeah, get your butter ready. We're about to finish up this last part right here. Shalom, King. I can't see when I got these glasses on. They can only read from a distance, man. My eyes, I got to go get them checked out. So I got these reading glasses on. Everything blurry in front of me. So if I don't see you on the screen sometime, but Shalom, welcome in. All praise to the brothers in the Battle Axes of the Most High. All praise to the brother that's kicking his truth across the four corners. All the captains of all of them, except for you ones that's going off, man. We need to probably talk. But at the same time, man, hey, man, we getting this work in, getting into this business. But like I said, you see the title, King of Kings, the final part. It's the final chapter. It's the last part. Because last week, we finished up last week. We was, the Northern Kingdom went into captivity. So we was done with the Northern Kingdom. And now we're about to go right into this, right into the last kings of the Southern Kingdom, which was we're gonna once after the Northern Kingdom went into captivity, and we just finished up right there. Now it's only the Southern Kingdom left, and I hope y'all remember that was what 722 BC is when the Assyrians took Israel, the Northern Kingdom, into captivity. And if you need more information on that, that's when when you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40, or start at 39 to about 45, letting you know what happened with them, how they had came over here. That's how far back when they was already, that's when that part of the world, this part of the world was being occupied. So, man, the class ain't gonna be that long today. Thank God. I'm gonna have y'all in and out today. So it ain't gonna be a long night, but it's gonna be finishing up. Make sure you get your notes out, get all that stuff ready. Y'all should have all the kings now. Y'all should have some dates down about the kings. Y'all should have some assassination, a little notes about the kings. I couldn't go into all of them in depth. Because look, it's the third day I'm still in the class, and I didn't go in depth on many of them. But I'm going to go a little more in depth on these, a couple of these on here, read a little bit more. But to start this class off, I want to go into, let me go to Romans 15 and 4. Romans 15 and 4. Because it's a purpose for us doing these classes in this history. I love history, man. And if y'all don't understand, I just like how things were at the time, so I can go back and take a glance at the past because of these things right here. And it says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning." So all of this stuff about history, man, our past and everything, It was written for our learning. If it was not important, the Most High wouldn't have had it in the book. He giving you this so you won't go back and you won't make those same mistakes. So the thing about it is, it's very important to go back, know your past, know who you are, know where we came from, know from the things that we done wrong, know the things that we done right, and start learning from them. And it reads again, for whatsoever was written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience, and you got to be patient with this too. See, a lot of our people, boy, we want to rush through it. We call ourselves read. I've been hearing so many people. I read the Bible front and back. You rush through the Bible if you did read it, if you're not lying, and you didn't take the time to figure out what it was talking about. Then they say, I didn't understand it. No, because you didn't study it. You just went through it. We love to go through it. Instant gratification. Microwave learners. And it said, patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Yahweh. And that's what we get these scriptures for. We got to remember our past, go back in it, start studying so we'll look at the mistake. And you'll realize your life was the same as the majority of them. Ain't nothing new under the sun. The troubles you're going through ain't nothing new. Quit all that damn crying in Israel. Every time something happened to us, we always want to whine and cry, thinking you the only person that's going through something. No, man, everybody, all of Israel going through something. And our fathers went through them. And they went through more stuff. So that's what y'all need to get on the same page and stop going through that. Go in the scriptures. And you'll learn what happened when they was in trouble. You'll learn how they got out of trouble. So like I said, let's go to Deuteronomy 32:7. And we're going to, and it says, y'all should know this one. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. And you go back, that's why I learned a lot of history from my father. My father was born in 1928. Yeah, he had us when he was 40, damn near 50 years old when he had us. I think he had my brother, my youngest brother at 44, and I think he had me at 42. So, yeah, they were old. I mean, he was born in 28. So when I used to like listening to him because he was telling me something, forget the history books, I got somebody who was there at the time. So I was learning different things that everybody else was not learning at school. And I used to get in trouble at school for going back to school, bringing up the stuff that was really going on and not what was written in those books. So a lot of times you need to listen to older people and give you the history of things instead of listening to the white man that writes some of this stuff down and tell you this is what it is. So here's the Bible. I don't got to listen to what the white man going to tell me about what went on in the past. Oh, it was back at this time. It was 1,000,000 years ago. Negro, how you record that? So I'm going to go by what the Bible tells me, because these people that wrote these things was living at that time. And they left records so we can learn and so we can understand who God was and how things work and how things were working from the beginning and how they working now. And it's the same thing. That's why you got to learn your history. All praises, you Cole. Hannah, all praises. How y'all doing? Welcome. And so, like I said, make sure you learn history, man. I know some of you used to hate history, but it's a great place to be when you can go back and see what was going on in his past. And then the same thing, it's the same, this is the same earth. This is the same earth that they were living on. This is the same earth that we walk on now. So learning what was happening before then is a great thing. So, like I said, when we finished that last one up, like I said, the Northern Kingdom gone into slavery. We finished up on Uzziah, which is also Araziah, and Jotham. Let's get Jotham's what we're going to start with. That's on the Southern Kingdom side. Now, you got to understand that this time, where I'm off of the Northern Kingdom, because they're going into captivity. Now, the kings that we have now are left right here that we have left right now. In what's the name? Now I think we already did this last week. I don't know. Do you have that still in your note, Jotham? You don't have your notes. Okay, that's right. You didn't have them last time. Oh, that's okay. I can't remember. We'll start at Jotham. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 32. Because I know Jotham was also he was also king when Pekah out of the northern kingdom was in there. Then Hoshea, he was the last king of Israel on that side. So I'm gonna go hit up a little bit so we'll be able to go up, read up a little bit, then we'll go down from there. But remember, the northern kingdom right now is gone into captivity. They gone. They gone, y'all. Better yet, while I'm sitting there getting this, let's do this right quick. I can read this real fast. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 39. We're going to start at verse 40. We're going to start at verse 40. And it says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their land, out of their own land, in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So here they are. They came out of this. They went over the Euphrates River, over into the land of Assyria, and this is where they reside now. Over the water, meaning over the river, the great river, Euphrates River. And he said, and so came they in another land. And now they're not in Jerusalem anymore. They're not in the northern part of Israel. They are gone into captivity. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dwelt. Now, that don't mean it just happened all in one day. They gone over here and they went to us name. It's a time possession. Time is between this. Now they counsel together after they've been in captivity in Assyria for a while. Now they saying, man, I'm ready to go, man. Now we can't do this. So they was ready to bail out. So they took counsel together, and they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. So they figured, they talked to God, hey, we can leave this place and go. That way they trying to escape slavery. But guess what? It didn't work. We can't escape it. We can't escape the judgments of the Most High God. But even God gave them a chance. Go, okay, y'all, I'm going to let y'all make it. I'm going to let y'all go back I'm going to take you to another land, and y'all should be able to keep them. And the Most High already knew they wasn't, but at the same time, He's going to leave them with no excuses. I'm going to give y'all that second chance. But He know they're going to fail, and yes, because He wrote, He knew the whole thing was coming. But they took this counsel among themselves, and they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into another country where never mankind dwelt. This is over on this hemisphere, the Western hemisphere. Mankind didn't dwell over here, despite what they tell y'all. Look, it was nobody here. I don't care what he's saying. I'm going by what the people were saying and what God told the people to write these things down. He knows. He said that they might there keep their statute, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. And if you're looking at a map, you got the Euphrates. They came in, they got on their boats and these boats, and now they going down. That is going to lead you right down into the Persian Gulf. After the Persian Gulf, you got the continent of Africa. And if you look at the flow of the ocean flow current, it comes into the back of Africa, it goes down around Africa, and then it flows right across the Atlantic. And that's how they came. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Meaning it was no storms going on. So this was a straight, smooth passage. The wind blowing perfect. If they had sails on the boats, If they didn't have sails, it was a smooth. Not only that, they didn't have to stroke real hard because they on the ocean's current. So it was an easy ride, but a long ride. A long ride, but it was an easy ride. Till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And he said it was a country, through that country, to that place, that new land where never mankind dwelt. He said, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. And think about it. If you're going around the biggest continent on the planet, which is Africa, you're going around that, coming back up, hitting that flow of that track of the ocean current. You're going around, you're coming back under the bottom part, the southern part of Africa, and then now you're going across the Atlantic. Now, Africa, Ham was already occupied. So that's not where they went. He said a land never mankind dwelt. Africa was loaded with all kind of Hamites, from southern all the way to the northern part. So that wasn't Africa, when some of y'all always be like, well, they was just in Africa. No, those lands already occupied. This is a land ain't nobody occupied. They didn't even, back at this time, remember, they didn't even know anything across the west. A lot of them thought that if you go too far that way, you're going to fall off and there you are. You done went to the end of the earth. That's what that water looked like it led to. They weren't riding, they weren't flying around in planes and nothing like that. So they didn't have that kind of map. Ain't nobody been over here. Now, for the most, he said, for through that country, there was a great way to go. Namely, a year and a half. Took a whole year and a half to take them boats across. And it's very explainable. It didn't take a year and a half to get to Africa, nowhere. Especially if you go on a boat going straight down the river and then you're in the ocean. It don't take you. They right there by Africa. They just came out right up by Africa. So it didn't take a year and a half to get to Africa. Hell, it's 11 days walk from Egypt to Jerusalem. So it was no 1 year and a half to stroll through Africa. They were right there by Africa. So through that, and it says a year and a half, and the same region is called Asherah. Man, I was watching a movie. What's the name of that movie? And they had this land that they were looking for. I gotta remember. I'm gonna bring that up and let y'all know what I'm talking about. But the land that they had that they was trying to find, the name of it was Asherah. I laughed. I said, boy, white people something else. They put it right in your face. Right in your face. And then people argue back at you and say, man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Apparently, we know what we're talking about. Apparently, the Bible know what they're talking about. And apparently, that so-called, them people know that too, put it that way. They know it too. So at the same time, now y'all can, hey, if you don't want to learn it, you don't want to believe it, that's on you. We believe what the Bible says. We know Asherah is America. And it says, then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. And here they are still to the last days, right now, the later times, which is now, they dwelt there. Guess what? They still dwelling here. Like he said, until the latter days. So, y'all want to believe it? We believe it. Israelites, we believe the Bible. Yes, and we also believe the Apocrypha too. So if you don't like it, hey, that's on you. All we can do is bring you out the truth, tell you the truth. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 32. Because now, like I said, now we on the southern kingdom. And we already closed them out last week. So now we just get at the bottom where we're about to get into where the northern kingdom is just, the southern kingdom is just the southern kingdom. Israel is gone into captivity. But right here, when we get to this, with this one right here, with this Jotham, which is Jotham, and like I said, we're going to Go through him. We just start right there. But Jotham, when you write that down, if you all don't have it in your notes, if you do, it should be 742 to 735 BC. In that time and era. I'm not giving you exact, but it's in that time. So that's where we're at right now. It should be 742 to 735 at this time. Now, here we go on that one. And at this time, when Jotham was talking about Pekah, which is the second to the last king of Israel on the northern kingdom side, that's when Jotham was also king at this time. So here we go. In the second year of Pekah, remember that's what I said, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah. Jotham, he was the son of Uzziah, which was the king before him. He's now is the king of Judah at that time. And we just said it, we just read it, Pekah. Remember, Pekah was assassinated. Pekah was assassinated. And then Hoshea became right behind Pekah. Because Pekah was there, 4 years? He ruled about 4 years. So at this time, Jotham became king in the second year. And you can see, like I just gave you those dates, 742 to 735. That's 7 years. That's 7 years. So now, 5 and 25 years old was he when he began to reign. And he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. It says 16. See, that's why I always tell you, boy, I look at information, but what we going to go by? Because this right here in this book says 742, 735. Now, what are we going to go by? We're going to go by what the Bible says. He read 16 years. Squash what they trying to tell me. 16 years. This is a history book I'm looking at, y'all. This is what I'll be looking at also. It's the Bible Atlas. It's the Holman Bible Atlas. Is what I'm reading out of that too. Is what I get some of this information also. I love using these history books and putting them in the Bible. But like I said, we always got to filter those books out when you read them. And you see right here, that 7 years is selling me right here. But then when I get down here, but then even it's got two of them. Remember the other one I use is, one of them is out of Bright and one of them is out of Miller Hayes. And the Miller Hayes has a question mark -742. So it might be with the question mark, meaning they don't know. But we do know it's in that time frame and it's 16 years. There was 16 years because Pekah was around what? In the year 736 BC and 732 at that time. So he was reigning 16 years. So like I said, when all in doubt, no matter what, I don't care what history book you read, if it goes against what this Bible say, take the word of the Bible first and foremost. Always go with the Bible. Filter it through and you'll see the truth when it goes through that filter. He said he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. And now that's him right there at that time when he's reigning. And let's go to 38. Let's drop down to verse 38. And Jotham slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. And Ahaz, his son, reigned in his stead. Now he's gone. Ahaz now is the time that Ahaz is also his king now. And Ahaz was there when Pekah was there too. Because if you read down on 16:1, it says, in the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. So he was there. And you see that again. See, that's what I look at. Look, it said Pekah, the 17th year of Pekah. The 17th year. But see, over here, it has 4 years he reigned. So what do we believe? The Bible. The Bible said in the 17th year of Pekah. So he was there at least 17 years. That was towards the end of the falling of the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom. The son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. 20 years old was Ahaz. He began to reign and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem and did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, his God, like David, his father. Now here he is, Ahaz. He did exactly what, he was doing like David, followed God's law, statutes, and commandment, kept the kingdom, judging righteously. He was doing all the good things. But over here on the other side, we had went through Pekah, and we went through Hoshea. Remember, Pekah was assassinated. And Hoshea, when Hoshea was there, they went and took him in the captivity. So that's how that ended over there. And now you got Ahaz right here. He's just now ruling at this time. And when he was ruling, so let's go down to 16 and verse 5. Then Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. And see, the Syria kingdom and the northern kingdom got together and came against who? The southern kingdom. And that's what we have a lot today. Think about it, man. The northern kingdom always get with these other kingdoms to come at the southern kingdoms. You got a lot of Hispanics and the natives all on these other nations' side to go against Israel when we're trying to tell Israel the truth about who y'all are. Now you got to understand, if you look at the maps, like I explained, up in the northern kingdom was the king's highway. It was going out into the other lands that would come and they would ship goods. The main concourse road up at that time was the King's Highway. The King's Highway went out into going up. It went up part of it went off up north, from up out of the Turkey area up there, through the back end of Kajak, the deep part of the east. And those roads went all the way toward the Mediterranean Sea. Those are the trade route roads that everybody was taking. So the northern kingdom always had a lot more money than the southern kingdom because they did a lot more commerce. But the worst thing about them, they did a lot more integrating with other nations. And the same thing that goes on now. They do a lot more integrating with other nations. And they come against who? Us, the southern kingdom. That's what they do today. That's what they did then. So that's why I say you always got to go look at it now, look at it then look at it today. And you'll start understanding our people. So when we be trying to tell the natives and the Mexicans or the Latins and all these other Puerto Ricans, hey, y'all are Northern Kingdom, I can go look in the Bible and I can see them doing the exact same thing that they did back then that they're doing now. Instead of coming together, they was always going with other nations because they've always dealt with other nations. That's why he said, like a speckled bird. Ephraim is like a what? A cake unturned. Because he mixed with a lot of nations. They mixed with a lot of nations. They was always dealing with other nations. You think Israel hate themselves? They really hate themselves. They love themselves as a foreigner. But they really don't. They hate themselves as who they really are, which are Israelites. I hope y'all get that. And that's, let's see, but they could not overcome him. At that time, Rezin, this verse 6, at that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elad to Syria and drave the Jews from Elad. And the Syrians came to Elad and dwelt there unto this day. Now, that's why you got that part up there. Elad, which we had took over now, they got all of that. This is in the land of Syria unto this day. And now let's drop down to verse 20. Verse 20. And Ahaz slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Hezekiah, his son, reigned in his stead. Now, here we are at Hezekiah. When Hezekiah is now king. And Hezekiah, like I said, Ahaz We got in the round of dates from 735 to 715 or 742 to 727. So go ahead and put those down. So BC. So you'll know that those dates right there at that time. So it's around about 735 to 715 and 742 to 727. That's Ahaz. Now here we got Ahaz gone, and now Hezekiah, not the gospel singer. And we're gonna put his time down from about 715 to about 686, or 727 to about 698 BC. Those are the two different kinds I got right there. So now let's get a little bit into Hezekiah. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. And like I said, if you missed the class on the Northern Kingdom, go back and watch part 2 and part 1. If you're missing anything. So this will be the last part. Hey, you just go back over the videos and watch that, and you come back with the kings that you have. So like I said, right now we are on Hezekiah, and it reads, it's 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the third year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel. Hoshea, remember, was the last king of the northern kingdom. And remember, we had Jotham and Ahaz. They was there during the time of Pekah, and Ahaz was also during the time of Pekah and Hoshea. Because when it says, now it came to pass in the third year of Hoshea, son of Elah. So that means Ahaz was there when Hoshea was also king of the northern kingdom when they went into captivity. And when we get there, then we got because Ahaz at the time was king when the northern kingdom went into captivity. And the Bible said he was doing right by the Most High, which is probably why they went into captivity. And then you still got what's name, because a lot of time, a lot of our kings on the southern kingdom side, they were going by the laws. What's name was in nothing but tons of idolatry. Idolatry. They was in a lot of it. And I'm going to close out with one of the scriptures for that too. So now we right here, let's read that again. Verse 1, 18 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the third year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. In the third year, 25 years old was he when he began to reign. And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And that's Hezekiah. Now he's getting an introduction here. Let's go to verse 9. And it came to pass in the fourth year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, the king of Israel, the Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years, they took it, even in the 6th year. So now here Hezekiah is right here. Now, this is the time he's telling you, here's the northern kingdom going into captivity. Ahaz is left when Hoshea was there. Now here Hezekiah, he's the king now, and he's watching, and he's getting the message that the northern kingdom is gone into captivity. But at the same time, why would I chase after them? Because remember, they just came with the Syrians and tried to war against us. He tried to take Ahaz down, but he couldn't do it. The northern kingdom had got with who? The Syrians, to take down the southern kingdom. Then what happened? They go to captivity. They go into captivity. That's the Most High. And y'all better watch it if you're going to keep going against your brothers that's in this truth. Y'all keep on watching it. You're going to be going into captivity. They call it TDC down in Texas. Or they call it a graveyard. one or the other. Better keep your mouth and quit going against each other on every damn thing, man. Everybody always got something to say about somebody else, what they doing and how they doing and this and that and that and that and this. Man, look, hey man, call them people, talk to them. Ask them why. A lot of times you get a better understanding when you talk to somebody. That's why I be telling people, man, when they come to me with some other stuff about somebody else, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't willing to talk to that people, leave me alone about it. If you ain't Matthews 15:8, don't holler at me about it. Till all of that's been done. It's an order that the Most High God have, and that's how we need to continue going by. But we keep making up our own rules, and guess what? We're going to be doing just like this Northern Kingdom just did, went into captivity. And we in captivity this day, but we're going to be cursed even more than what we cursed. That's why we're trying to come out of the curses by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, not breaking them. And then be still want to be out, oh man, I'm going to make it. No, not if you keep breaking these laws. And then where we at? Verse 9. Oh, we already did verse 9. Let's go to verse 13. Skip down to 13. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me that which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. So he's buying his way out of his captivity. Yeah, he gave up all the stuff. We got us broken the sun gun on this side, boy. He done gave everything up, man. And then he said, and Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord and from the pillars. And he done cut all the stuff off, man. This beautiful kingdom, man, and marriage, man. You got gold wallpaper. 14 karat gold wallpaper. He come and taking all that off and giving it to Assyria. So the Syrians won't take them into captivity. And that's why we didn't go into Assyria captivity. This is why. And at that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord and from the pillars of Hezekiah, the king of Judah, had overlaid and gave it to the king of Assyria. And man, he cutting all this stuff off, the pillars, everything, man, all the gold. Man, imagine, you seen how beautiful that kingdom was, how beautiful the temple was. When you read about it, he took all that gold and gave it to Assyria, gave it to the Assyrian king. That is crazy in the mud. Now, let's go to 17. The king of Assyria sent Tartan, the Rapsaris, and Rabshakeh from Lachish, to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the Fuller's Field. Think about it. You done gave him all your money. You done gave him all the gold. You done ripped down all the silver. And a lot of times when you be giving all that stuff up thinking you're going to get out of something, and that'd be like, man, that just make a man look at you and be like, this dude is a punk. So he gonna give me all that gold. I'm finna go back over there and give me some more. And then now you done showed him your true colors. Now he thinking you got more gold in this. So here they finna come. I'm finna go battle. I'm gonna go take some more stuff. That's all it took. I came, man, right here, took him Capt. He gave me all this stuff. Shoot, I'm finna go do this again. That's what a bully gonna do. You keep giving him stuff to leave you alone. Guess what? He gonna keep coming. He gonna keep coming. That's what he did, man. Hold on, I'm gonna go down there again, boy. I'm gonna go get man, they got gold that them other countries didn't even have, man. Now he like, shoot, man, let's go get some more. Let's go get a little more. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel No, where we at? Where did I stop at? Hezekiah in the ninth. Who? 17. Okay, and the king of Assyria sent. Yeah, we finished that. Verse 18. And when they had called to the king, there came out of them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Ravshekah said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus said the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, But they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom dost thou trust? Thou that rebellest against me? He said, "This is the king of Assyria. Who y'all trust? Who y'all trust? And where he getting this confidence from? Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of thy bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go." Now he's mocking us and stuff, mocking the Most High into his hands and pierce it. So Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him. But if you say unto me, We trust in the Lord our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah had taken away? He's mocking Hezekiah and had said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem. He's looking back at Israel like, man. Now he came in and Hezekiah like, nah, I ain't giving in. He like, man, you got to be out your mind. Y'all, you mean, and then when the messages came, he's like, you mean to tell me y'all gonna trust in him who gave all the gold away? Talking about y'all God, but then immediately if y'all God was really worth something, why he give up all the gold and stuff? They instead of just doing it, if his God was gonna do something, why would you trust in him? He sold y'all out. Is what he's trying to tell him. Gave me all your gold, man. You crazy in the summer gun. And you finna trust him? He said, oh, you finna tell me that story about when y'all was in Egypt. But that what y'all going by? Okay. Oh, man, I ain't worried about that. You see what I did already? I done punked them off. I done ride them. I done jacked them. And he said, verse 22, But if you say unto me, We trust in the Lord our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah had taken away and had said unto Judah and Jerusalem, you shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem. Now therefore, and he said about the altar, he said, when y'all talking about that altar was that he gave me all the gold around, that where y'all supposed to be worshiping, y'all gonna trust in him? Y'all gotta be out your mind. Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my Lord King of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. That's what he said, man, give us our tribute. He ready to take some stuff. I'll give y'all some horses if you can put some riders on them. Because you remember you thinking, I already got the other 10 tribes. That's what he finna go, he like, shoot, I went and got them. I'm finna go pump them other ones. Shoot, they gotta be worse than these. So now he said, how then would I turn away the face of one captain of the least of the master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it. And then that's another thing. There's a Hezekiah. So why are you even trying to depend on Egypt, man? Same people who had us in slavery instead of turning to the Most High. How then would thou turn away the face of the one captain of least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for the chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, and Ravshekah, Rafshika, speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall. But Rafsheka said unto them, had my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Had he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? Boy, y'all be telling me they wasn't talking like that. I don't even think I would have said nothing. My niggas like, nigga, go eat some and drink some piss. That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. But Rafsheka said unto them, had my, what we down? Yeah, 28. Then Rafsheka stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language and spake, saying, hear the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus said the king, let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hands. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, the Lord will surely deliver us, and the city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Now here they are going back, taking a message that the Assyrian king of Assyria had gave him, and then here they are translating it back to the Israelites, to the Jews. And now he's telling, man, don't let Hezekiah play. Don't let it fool you. Trick him, tricks him. He's like, man, y'all, don't let that man talk y'all into this whooping y'all finna get. And he's finna deliver that message we read earlier back to them. And now they're using their words. Surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered unto the hand of the king of Assyria. Because he's asking about that. And hearken not to Hezekiah. For thus said the king of Assyria, make an agreement with me, buy a present, and come out to me, and then eat every man of his own vine and of his every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, and a land of olive and of honey, that ye may live and not die. And hearken not unto Hezekiah, your king, when he persuaded you, saying, the Lord will deliver us. Because now he's saying don't listen to him. That's the same man sold all y'all gold. That's why y'all ain't got nothing now. And you finna go listen to him, and he telling, don't listen to him, man. I'm telling y'all. And you know, when you look at this, read this, who else was tempted this same way? Promised all that stuff. Yahweh was tempted of the devil. Remember, as soon as the 40-day fast that he had, that's the same thing. He was like, I give you all the kingdoms of the world. If you bow down to me, that's the same thing the king of Assyria is telling us now. So we all get tempted the same way Yahweh got tempted. We get tempted all the same way. So ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new. So he's saying, now verse 33, had any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Has anybody done that? No, but you got to understand, they the king of the world at this time. He's like, man, he should, according to him, Negro, ain't nobody. We undefeated. We done whooped everybody now. And now here y'all finna try to hold out. You better give me my money. Get it? That's what he was calling us. That's how they looked at us. Same way they look at us now. Telling you Negroes, you better give me my money. Tax season. Y'all put all them taxes in there and be hoping that they give you some change back. Like y'all got it back. That is overpaid taxes. They gave you back your own money, and you think you're doing something. Because they'll give it to you because they know what you're finna do. They give it to you because y'all finna go spend it immediately and put it right back in the economy. And they the ones gonna be on the markets getting more money back. It's a scheme. It's a game. Got us playing it. We think we winning. It's like being at the goddamn casino, man. Keep on pushing that button. You done won a little bit here. You think you winning. But then as soon as it's time to leave Las Vegas, you back broke. You just hoping you got that plane ticket to get back home. You went there with, I got me $2,000. I'm finna go hit it big. But you left and came back. All you got on that plane now is your toothbrush. That's it. They done took everything, yeah. You ain't got no underwear on up in the plane. They done took it all. Have any gods, verse 33, had any of the gods, Salakia, had any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his hand out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hammon and of Arpad? He said, where they gods at? Because I tore they butt up too. I done went to Hammett, whooped them, went to Arpad, whooped them. I'm undefeated, baby. That's what he bragging on. That's how he talking about, yeah, baby, I did it. Where are the gods of Sepharvaim and Hena and Iva? Have they delivered Samaria out of my hand? All these are northern kingdom. I took them all, baby. Took them all them cities. I got them. Where they God at? How can we help them? All that praying y'all finna go do, nigga, they were doing the same thing. All that sacrifices y'all finna make, they were doing the same thing. Better bow down to me is what he's telling them. He said, where they is at? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of my hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand? He said, man, where y'all them? They had their gods, and you telling me y'all God finna deliver y'all out of my hand when those other people gods didn't do it? Don't feed me no Egypt story. Don't tell me about what's happening in Egypt. I'm telling you right now. That was a pharaoh. I'm the king of Assyria, baby. That's how he's acting, man. Head, chest out. What? I done took all them other people. They gone. I got them over the water. They serving. Have any of the gods of the nations delivered out of where I'm at right now? Oh yeah, verse 36. But the people held their peace and answered him not a word. For the king's commandment was saying, answer him not. King said, man, don't even say nothing. Just don't even say nothing. Hezekiah like, man, don't even say nothing. Just leave him alone, man. God dang, he tripping. Then came Elikiah, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joel the son of Asaph the recorder, to Hezekiah, with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. They done rent their clothes like, oh, God, you hear what he said? And then got that message, man. He like, man, they like our people get, I'm going to go mourning, go to crying, oh my goodness. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Elikiah, which was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah, the prophet, the son of Amos. So Isaiah is the prophet at this time. So now y'all can mark the time because y'all should have some dates. And now you got kings that was kings at the time. You got who was the king on the northern kingdom side, who was the king over on the southern kingdom side. So that should give y'all a little closer when Isaiah and the time and the period and what he was dealing with when he wrote these other books. Isaiah, when he was prophesying to his people. This was one of the kings he was a prophet to. I can do that too. I could have went back and gave y'all Elijah, Elisha, Amos, Isaiah, and the time periods they were in too. So, but I didn't give y'all that. I just want right now, let's just get the kings out the way. And now we finished that one right there. Let's go to 19:5. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, thus shall ye say to your master, thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, that with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. And see, that's what he was saying. Man, look, don't be afraid of them words. That's what Isaiah trying to tell Hezekiah. Man, don't even be tripping off of them. Because, you think about it, they got scared. All of them came back scared. Went to rent their clothes, crying, oh my goodness, he finna get us. And Isaiah said, man, don't be scared of that stuff, man. Don't even be afraid. Verse 7, behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So now the Most High finna do his thing. That's why no matter what you're going through, no matter how it looks, if you need to trust in the Most High, and the Most High will bring you out of this mess. I know, imagine it. I'm sure it looked bad. Think about it. He was telling you straight up. Negro, all of them was praying. All of them was making sacrifices. All of them thought that God was going to be there to help them. So why do you think you finna stop me from taking this place? And if somebody came to you, you looking at the paperwork, be like, yeah, he did. Ooh, he told him up. Ooh, he told him up too. But you got to be like that underdog football man. You know that when y'all got to play that number one team, and you looking at their record book like, man, they beat what's their name? Oh, they beat such and such by 55. We lost to them. They beat they beat what's name by 63. We won by 1 point. You looking at their record and trying to compare it to yours, and you like, man, we finna lose. But Isaiah the prophet came and said, man, don't even be tripping out there, man. Them others ain't all that. Them others ain't played nobody. They only played the people we lost to. So don't even worry about it. I'm finna show you. I got it. He's in that quarterback now. Don't worry about it. Verse 8. So Rabshakeh returned and found king of Assyria warring against Libnah. For he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard Salakia, and when he heard say of Taharka, king of Ethiopia, behold, he has come out to fight against thee. He sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, let not thy God in whom thou trustest deceive you. Now he realized that, man, hold on. I got to go over here to go take care of some business. But you go take this message back to Hezekiah. I ain't forgot about him now. I'm just finna go take care of some other business. I'm going to be back. He said, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand. He said, don't let him deceive you, saying that Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the king of Assyria have done to all the land by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered, and shall you be delivered? He said, man, you heard about what I did. And you think you're going to be delivered? Nah, partner. Better not, don't even think about it. He said, have the gods of the nation delivered them, which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph and the children of Eden, which were in Delasar. Where is the king of Hamath? He bragging about his little old, he's going down this whole record. Yeah, you know, we beat Southside Red Tigers. We tore their bud up. We tore up the dynamic duos. We tore him up. We beat. He just running down there. We told everybody, we undefeated. We undefeated, man. Don't even think. We don't play no game. We finna come whoop y'all too. I'll be back, but we finna come whoop y'all too. He said, so he's just bragging about him. Verse 13. Where's the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad and the king of so he just running his mouth again. The same thing he was telling him again. You know, a lot of times, man, they kind of be nervous coming back. If you got to keep on coming back and you ain't did nothing yet, but you just keep running your mouth and running your mouth and running your mouth and running your mouth. So, nigga, if you was that bad and you was that scared, you should just ran up in there and took your stuff. But he got it. Hey, but hold on. He bragged about 3 or 4 times. He's steady bragging. That's all he doing. Man, shut up. Put up or shut up. Then Hezekiah received the letter of the hands of the messenger and read it. And Hezekiah went up, this verse 14, and went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thine ear. And if you notice how he pray, he don't just jump out and say, hey, we need some help. He give praise and honor to the Most High first. Just like when you're doing it, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You get the praises first, then you go into your prayer and start asking for what it is that's going on. Not for yourself. Not try to do it for the like he said, I already know what you want. You need to pray for other people, the nation of Israel, the people around you. Or the people that you don't know, people that's across the seas or something. Your Israelites waking up, all those things. Most I say, I already know what's in your heart. And then you're still supposed to be specific. He said, be specific with what you asked for. So he said, so he's praying. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubim, thou art the God, even thou alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thy ear and hear, open, Lord, thine eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which had sent him to report the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and the land and their land. And he's like, man, it is true though. You know, they done whooped everybody. That list he was calling out, yeah, that's true. They did whoop them. And he's telling them, he's like, man, and have sent their gods into their fire, for they were no gods. And see, that's what we got to understand. The stuff that they trying to come against you, they ain't got no God behind theirs. Ain't no power behind the stuff that's coming against you. The power is in you keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and having the faith that you know that the Most High God will take care of whatever you got going on. And that way you don't have to worry about it. We got to start getting our mindset to be doing like that and quit worrying about everything all the time. Yes, bad stuff going to happen to you. Yes, some people going to die around you. Yes, you're going to lose your job. Yes, you're going to go through all this stuff. But you still got to have the faith and ability to think that, hey, Most High God said, hey, I'm going to leave it where it's, hey, I'm going to leave a way of escape no matter what. If you trusted me, I got your back. You remember on that movie, New Jack City? When Ice-T was sitting there with the black man, what's his name? God dang it, what's his name? You know him, Nino Brown. When he was sitting there and he said, I got your back. You can trust me, I got your back. That's how we need to be doing with Most High God. Don't worry about stuff. You can trust him, I got your back. But we get to worrying as soon as something happens. Woe is me. But don't worry about that. It said no sound. It is a sound. Anybody else not getting the sound? Put a 1 up in the chat if you're not getting the sound. But then again, huh? Okay, that's what's the name. Yaakov, you need to get your stuff done together. That's always yours. Yeah, you got a sound. They got a sound. I'm sorry, y'all. I just saw somebody text me saying no sound. But it is a sound. Turn yours up. Your volume down. Where was I at? You done got me thrown off with that message, man. I was E Hood saying that. What's name? That wasn't E Hood. I guess that's who. Yeah, they can hear me. He said, no, I was E Hood. Not Yaakov, that was E Hood. Yeah, check your stuff. He said he logged off and came back on. Who was that?
That's Ehud.
Ehud?
Now he said it's back.
Yeah, that's your stuff. Don't text me. That's your stuff. Fix your stuff. It's sound. I ain't touching nothing. He just interrupted me, man. That got me. I'm up to readings, in a good reading mood. But I get back in it. Of a truth, Lord, verse 17. Of a truth, Lord, the king of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into fire. For they were no gods, but the works of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore, they have destroyed them. Yes, when you get up there, it ain't like the movies. When you get that cross out, you thinking, hey, in the name of Jesus. Then your head fall off. You'll know why. Because that has no power. And you know how they be doing like that, boy. I be watching them ghost stories, boy. Them white people, boy, they make up some stuff, boy. They act like that cross just be going in there doing everything. And then the demons just ran up out of there because he done ran around there, sprinkled some water on there. Negro, please. And then you got that water right out the goddamn faucet. And them the same faucet where the water's already contaminated. You just threw some dirty water on a nasty demon and fired that demon up. That's all you did. You ain't did no miracles. That's where the Cardinals and all that stuff in the Catholic Church. Did y'all know when they, in order to be Cardinals and when they moving up in rank, it's because they had supposed to be performed a miracle? But it's funny, you got all these Cardinals all over the world, all over everywhere. What miracles have y'all seen them perform? How come they ain't never performed nothing around no Negroes? But they moving up in ranking because some of them high they ranking. He's performed 3 miracles. He's performed 4 miracles. Then they go into these same goddamn demonic ass houses. That's because the demons are the people who right there. So when oh boy, I don't even want to get in. That'll be a whole new goddamn class, man. Verse 18, verse 19. Now therefore, Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord God, even the holy, even thou only. And that's where he said, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amos, this verse 20, then Isaiah the son of Amos sent Hezekiah, saying, thus said the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, has despised thee and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee. That's when y'all remember y'all got scared. Y'all didn't even trust in your own God. That's what happens with us. We be shaking our head because all of a sudden we don't got faith. As soon as something come bad on us, we run out of faith. We don't believe in God. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm a victim. I did it the other day. When that storm was going on, God dang it, when I thought it was a tornado behind me, I literally forgot God. I told my wife that. Man, I forgot God. I got scared. I ain't gonna lie, I got scared. Because my truck felt like it was lifted up, man. Stuff was blind going across the highway. I just knew at any second, at any moment, I finna to get swiped off. And then after that storm, when I started getting where it's getting calmer, I had realized, man, I don't even know why I was scared. Because God didn't give me the spirit of fear. But I'm a victim. I had to repent for that. Because I didn't trust the Most High. Neither did they. I'm learning now. I'm looking at this here. I was just in that same situation the other day. So anytime we just, because stuff bad come up on us, where something seems like, oh man, this is it. That's the time to get closer to the Most High. Whom thou hast reproached and blasphemed, and against whom hast thou exalted. Thou hast exalted thy voice and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel. Even against the Holy One of Israel. Let's go to 20 and verse 1. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Let me get this right quick. Let's go to Sirach chapter 30, verse 3. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3. Verse 3, it reads, He that teaches his sons grieveth the enemy, and before his friend he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind him that is like unto himself. That just means, man, teaching your son, hey, don't be afraid of none of this stuff. And then when you see him perform his thing, you know when you die, guess what? Your son will be doing the same thing. He's staying bold as a lion too. So if you ain't teaching your son to be a lion, but that ain't the point I'm trying to get at. But I'm just going on that because I read that. But hey, you need to teach them to stand up straight, get out in these streets and teach their people. And so he can be sitting out there and be strong. Because you never know when our time is up. Everybody think they got so much grace. I'm in the truth now. I can't die. Yes, you can. People gonna die in this truth. Life didn't just stop all of a sudden because you learned the truth. Many great men and women died knowing the truth, keeping God's laws. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. I want to put that down. He said, set thine house in order, man. Get your stuff ready. Get your family right. Get your people in order. Get your wife in order. Get all of your children in order. Get your money together. Distribute it who it's supposed to go to before you die. Don't wait because they would kill each other trying to fight about it afterwards. He telling him, Hezekiah, set your house in order. Set it in order. Get stuff together. Get stuff straight. Don't wait till the last second. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in the truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Now the thing about that is, you need to be doing that when you want to say that. But that's when you can like, hey, God, hey, hold on, no, I'm going through. I lost my job, but remember, hey. Because even in the last day, what he say? It's going to be a lot of them saying, Lord, Lord, I prophesied in your name. I healed in your name. I did all that. They're going to say, depart from me, you working for iniquity. For I never knew you. So that's when he turned around and cried. And a lot of times, men don't have to be vulnerable in front of women, but God dang it, you can go in that room and be vulnerable unto the Most High God. I won't even ask for tears no more. The last time I asked the Most High for tears, because I didn't cry. I'm not a guy that cry. Boy, everything. He gave me some tears, all right. So I learned to be careful about what you ask for. My mama died, my daddy died, my wife divorced me, everything. The kids gone, boy, all right when I asked about it. I need some tears. I want to cry sometime too. Okay, do you? He said, okay. I said, how you crying? Boy, everything went down. Boy, I was crying my butt out, but I couldn't stop crying because so much tragedy was coming. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. That's why y'all hear me playing that song, He Spoke to Me. Because when I made that what's name, and Most High, He spoke. He said, okay, really? That what you want? Okay, here you go. And it came. So, hey, be careful what you ask for. I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore, crying like a baby. Go down to verse 5. Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people. You can just read 4. And it came to pass, before Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again, tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus said the Lord God of David, thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. I'm gonna hear you. On the 3rd day, thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thee thy days 15 years. Boy, think about it. He's one of the only people that knew, man, I'm dying in 15 years. I got 15 years. So, like, man, if I knew I had to die in 15 years, you know dang on well, boy, you better get your stuff together. I got 15 years. You know when you gonna die. The doctor be giving people 6 months. I don't know, dude, he got 6 months, mother still living. Been 10 years. Then they tell this man he got 6 months. Next week he dead. But you can rest assured when the Most High told him 15 years, he knew exactly how much time he had left on this planet. He knew exactly how much time he had left on this planet. Let's go to verse 12. At that time, Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylonia, sent letters and present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious thing. Boy, quit bragging, boy. That's what we love to do, boy. Show off. He's like, man, I heard you sick. Yeah, man, I'm feeling a little better now. You want to come down and kick it? And here they come. And they got all up in the house. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got this, got that. I got this, I got that. I got that. Yeah, I keep all my stuff right here. My safe is in there. I keep my gun under the bed over there. I keep my jewels in the drawer right here. Just telling them everything. I have seen, he said, where we at, 12? Yeah. He said, at that time, Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylonia, sent letters and a present unto Hezekiah. For he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick, and Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of the precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices. Emma went in the kitchen and showed them what all the good stuff had in the kitchen, or in the spice cabinet. And precious ointment. He got his perfume out. Man, I got all them. That $400 perfume. Emma showing him everything. And all the house, and all of the house of his armor. He's showing them, like I said, got my gun under the bed. He's showing them all that stuff. And all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. Showed them everything in the crib. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah and said unto him, What said these men? What they say? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country, even from Babylon. And he said, What have they seen in our house? Man, what you showing? You don't even know them niggas. Why you don't? What you showing? Hezekiah like, see, he thinking I'll be a great host. You know. Then he said, What have they seen in our house? And Hezekiah answered, All the things that is in my house have they seen. There's nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. I showed them everything. I showed them everything. What you mean? Ain't nothing in there they ain't seen. And Isaiah said, I guess Hezekiah took that get your house in order totally wrong. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days come that all this all that is in thy house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, said the Lord. You know why nothing ain't gonna be left? Because you showed them where everything at. So even if you hear some stuff, guess what? They know where it's at because you showed them everything. I showed them everything. What you talking about? I was a great host. What you talking about? I show how I get down. They know how I get down. Ain't that what we be seeing today? When they be online, showing them everything. Then when the niggas rob them, niggas, you done showed me everything. Like a boy came out, the little youngster, 16, gonna put all his money on the ground. Now, if I was a knucklehead back in the day, boy, oh man, especially when I was smoking, boy, okay. I know where I can get some money at. I showed him everything. I can imagine. I showed him everything. What you talking about? You know how I get down? I can imagine. Just like our people today, man. Just like our people today. Boy, I tell you, boy, it's crazy, boy. You got to read these scriptures. You cannot tell me you don't know these people like that. This is our people, man. Squash that. Where we at? What verse?
You just finished 15.
15. And he said, what have they seen? Oh, we just finished. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, okay, that was behold. Let's go to Isaiah 39:6. Isaiah chapter 39, verse 6. Remember what he had told him? This where it's at. Isaiah chapter 39, verse 6. So even when you right there, when he said, Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, hear the words of the Lord. That precept is Isaiah 39, verse 6. Behold, the days come that all that is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store until this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, said the Lord. That's where it's at. So you can mark that down in your Bible. That's where that's at. So when you read that in 2 Kings, that's where it's at. Isaiah 39:6. So then now we back up. Behold, the day we already read that, and then that's the same thing because it also said the same thing in the what's name. And of thy son that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away. And they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the kings of Babylon, meaning they shall be servants. And that also Daniel chapter 1, verse 3 through 7. Let's get it right quick. Let's go ahead and get it. That's what Jerubbaal love to do, boy. Yeah. Now let's get that. Ain't finna let you just state it. Daniel chapter 1, verse 3. And the king spake to Aphanaz, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children of whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful. That's all of them, all of his children that'll be going. All the skillful ones that have gone and fallen the victim to Babylon. Daniel was speaking about it. Daniel was one of these children that is speaking about in 2 Kings. Daniel was one of these children of Hezekiah. He's one of these children that went into the captivity. He said, and the rest of that, and then verse 20, and the rest of acts of Hezekiah and all his might, and how he made a pool and a conduit and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Hezekiah slept with his father, and Manasseh, his son, reigned in his stead. So now Hezekiah gone. What was Hezekiah? He said, what, 29 years? And that was 15 years he had left when that happened. So do the math on that. You can see when that time was. Now his son Manasseh, we have a date, what, 687 or 686 in that area to 642 or 697 to 642. Now we go to 2 Kings chapter 21 and go to verse 9. We're in 21. Let's go to 9. Let's start at 1 right quick. Let me get that 1 right quick. I want to read 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hephzibah. Now, what do they have right here? Let me see. Well, let's see. Well, they got about 55 years. That's about 55 years. That mother reigned for a long time. I guess when you start at 12, boy, now you had to be doing some right to even last that long as a king. And I just want to put that out there. Let's go to 9 now. But they hearkened not. Manasseh seduced them to do more evil. Let's start at 8. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers. Only if they will observe to do according to all I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not. And Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. They got worse than another nation. Now here we are. We didn't have to go into the Syrian captivity. But here we are. We doubted the Lord. Now we're doing good. Now we doubted the Lord. Now here we are right now, seducing our people to go do what they doing. Not only doing what they doing, but doing worse than them. That's like when you look at our gay people, they more goddamn gay than all the people, man. Seduce more. Why do you think they put all our people on there as gay? And they be the most flamed up, flamboyant people you ever seen. Be like, God dang it. He over woman. He more than that mother so gay, he passed a woman. That's what our people do, right? We just go overboard with it. We become, when they look at the serial rapists, we just be doing some, you be like, what? They raped everything. Our serial killers, they go kill every damn thing. It don't matter. We just do it overboard. Worse than all of these other nations that he destroyed for our sake anyway. And we done got worse than them. So what do you think he's going to do to us? We don't be thinking sometimes. We just be doing stuff and without no thinking at all. We don't think. We just do stuff, reacting off emotions instead of reacting off reasoning and logic. But they have hearkened not to Manasseh, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. Verse 10, and the Lord spake by his servants, the prophets, saying, because Manasseh, king of Judah, had done these abominations and have done wickedly above all them that Amorites did, which were before him, and had Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore, thus said the Lord God of Israel, behold, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah that whosoever heareth of it, both his ears shall tingle. I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. He said the same way he got destroyed, man. We just went through that. How he went and destroyed that house of Ahab. through that bloodline, when he was destroying, they said, I'm going to do the same thing to y'all. I'm going to do the same thing to y'all. Because we just got barred. He said, what I'm going to do, boy, your ears going to tingle. Y'all finna go through some stuff. And I will stretch over Jerusalem, the line of Samaria. The same thing. Y'all finna get the same thing. What they went through slavery, y'all going to it again. You knuckleheads. He said, I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to turn it upside down. He said, and I will forsake this, verse 14, and I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies. And they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done that which is evil in my sight and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day. And that's why the children of Israel raised up at this time right now, because Christianity is on a rampage. And we doing the same thing that we were doing way back there, going all off into different stuff that's going against our God. Everything that Christianity teaches us going against God, our God. Even after they read out of this same book, and it's 100% totally different message. And it's not what the Bible say. Because every time you have them confronting them, they always get knocked down because they don't come out the Bible. They want to hear what you got to say because they know what they got to say is not in the Bible. And that's been going on. And it's happening right now to this day. And it's going to continue happening if our people don't get back. It ain't going to continue to happen because it's about to come to an end anyway. You only got so long to act that way and get your act back together. That's your grace period. Take heed to it. And you need to do that now. Where I stop at? 14. Because they have done that which was evil in thy sight, and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, in doing that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. And that's what he's doing, killing everything that ain't right with him. He just the king that I kill, blood, shedding innocent blood. That's the same thing our people do to this day, shed innocent blood. He stepped on my shoes. He was on, you can see them rappers on there, they be talking like they friends. Then next thing you know, they friendly and stuff like they been on each other. Bam, shooting them anyway. I gotta make this money off this record. And then got our people doing the same thing. A whole bunch of Manassehs running around Israel today, running right around in America today. Same one, doing the same bull crap. Now, the rest of the acts of Manasseh and all that he did and the sins that he sinned, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? We can go ahead and compare that part of the Chronicles to the same part. You can go ahead and do those things right there. And in 2 Chronicles 33, when you're talking about him, Manasseh. So you can go over there, and if you want to read through that, I'm just giving you this best I can through what we have right here. And, boy, that is crazy. Let's go to verse 18. And Manasseh slept with his fathers and was buried in the garden of his own house. He ain't even getting it. He's right in the garden. In the garden of Uzzah. And Amon, his son, reigned in his stead. Now we got Amon as the next king. And we got his period is about 642 to 640. It's got those both at the same time at BC. So they both got those two right. Now, and Amon was 22 years old when he was begun to reign. He was 22 when he began to reign. And he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Meshullemeth, and the daughter of Haraz of Jokbah. And on that one right there, we got Amos right there. Let's go to 23. Drop down to 23. And the servants of Amos conspired against him and slew the king in his own house. Read up one. Let's go to 22. And he forsook the Lord God of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the Lord. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and slew the king in his own house. That mother didn't even last long neither. Now you can see, remember at first we wasn't doing no assassinations. We wasn't getting killed by people around us until we started doing what? As soon as the Northern Kingdom went into captivity, because they did a lot of it. Now here we are, we doing worse than our enemies and our other, and then the stuff that they were doing in the Northern Kingdom. So here we are doing those same things, and guess what? Those same punishments coming right back on us too. Assassinations, right in our own house. Because the same fact that the matter, Most High saying, man, God, dang it. Trying to give y'all warning, but we didn't even take heed to that. We didn't take heed to none of that. And the people of the land, verse 24, and the people of the land, all of them that had conspired against King Ammon, and the people of the land made Josiah, his son, king in his city. So now we got Josiah. And we should even go right up there because it says 640 to 609 is about that time. Or 639 to 609. One of them areas right there. So, and Josiah, let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 33, 25. Second Chronicles chapter 33, verse 25. But the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against the king Ammon. And the people of the land made Josiah his son king in his stead. Which was the same thing we wrote over same thing we read over in the other one. Let's go back. I just want to make sure y'all where it's at. Because that's what he said. Those things are in the Chronicles. Now let's go back. 2 Kings chapter 23 and verse 16. Verse 16. Now we at about that time period where we had 640 and 609. Josiah is king. And 23 and verse 16. And it reads, verse 16, and as Josiah turned himself, he spied the sepulchres that were there in the mountain, and sent and took the bones out of the sepulchres, and burned them upon the altars, and polluted it, according to the word of the Lord, which the man of God proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. Then he said, what? Let's read up right quick. Let's read up. Moreover, the altar was at Bethel, and the high places was Jerusalem, Obeam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. Nebat was what? He was a king over here after Jerubbaal, which is the northern kingdom. They're going all the way back that far. Who made Israel to sin? He made both that altar and the high places he break down, and burned the high places, and stamped it small to powder, and burned the grove. And as the Josiah turned to himself, he spied the sepulchres that were there in the mountain, and took the bones out of the sepulchres, and burned them upon the altar, and polluted it, according to the word of the Lord, which the man of God proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. He was tearing this place down, turning down altars at this time. That's who are we talking about? Josiah. Go down to verse 29. In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and the king Josiah went against him, and he slew at Megiddo when he had seen him, and his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo, and brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him, and made him king of his father's stead. Now, Jehoaz is now king. That's 609 BC. His dad would live to go to 60, but see, at the same time, when they came against him, he died in the battle in that Megiddo, in that war. They brought his family. That's where he got wounded. When they brought him back, he died. Now here's his son coming in his time, and now he's reigning. And now we at 609, and we at 609 BC. And Jehoaz was 23 years when he began to reign. And he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah, Libnah. You know how funny, man, how quickly they were dying over in the northern kingdom because of all the sin that they were doing? What's happening now? Because remember, we was kingdom, we was there for a while. We were being kings for a lot longer than the northern kingdom. But since we got into so much sin, the same thing that's covered, many some covered y'all up with the same thing that happened with them is going to be happening to y'all. Same thing is happening. And we're going through that same pattern that the northern kingdom was lined up. You would think we would have learned from looking at them, go through all this stuff. But what did we do? We didn't look at them and say, hey, learn our lesson. We looked at them and got worse than them. That's when you look at that other story. I think Jerubbaal did a class on that. The two sisters. One out there went to run around. The other one was sent to go get her. Next thing you know, when the guy get there, the dad get there. She just as bad as her sister now. You supposed to have been bringing her back home. But nah, she out doing, sister having fun. Daddy Wolf, I was going to tell you, Daddy, don't worry about it. What y'all doing? And that's who we are. We did the same thing. And at that time, that's the lesson. That would have been a great lesson to be learned. A great lesson. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father had done. And Pharaoh, Necho, put him in bands and Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah his father. Jehoiakim now. His daddy went to prison by another king. That's how bad he was. Another king put him in jail. And then, man, hey, look, I'm going to take y'all king, make his son the guy done. He the king. See, because this one here, he going to jail. I'm taking him captive right now by himself. And now you got down, Jehoiakim what? He just get there. No, so 609. Remember what's his name was what? 3 months. That's terrible. That is horrible. 3 months as the king. And you so bad that you went to jail. How bad is that? Now you can't tell me this ain't our people. That's like Ja Morant right now, running around here. He got, Negro, you in the league, you got money, and you trying to go to jail. You where a lot of people been trying to get to. Here he is, king. 3 months. Nigga, they don't just kill you, you go to jail, man. Who do that? But us. But us. Oh, boy. Verse 36. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He beat his dad. God dang, daddy, 3 months, boy. So, Look, it's already starting. Living without your father. Father in jail. Man, he gotta go, hey man, he's 25 years old. His daddy gone to jail. Right at a very important time for a man's life. Because that's when a man make a lot of big decisions. They need the father to be around, not to live with him, but to give him advice on what's going on. And here he is. I gotta be king because daddy gone to jail. He reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zebidah, and the daughter of Pedaiah and Rumah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all his father. Did we not learn? Your daddy just went to jail, nigga. Because he wasn't doing no good. He wasn't doing what the Most High God done said. And remember, every generation, nigga, our nation be getting weaker and weaker spiritually, because we be learning more and more and more and more from these people. Same way with today. These children, they act like that because they get weaker spiritually every generation. Every generation. Now, where we at? Okay, and he did in the same as his father done. In those days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonian, came to Jehoiakim, became his, and Jehoiakim, let's start that over. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. See, he went to jail. He did just like who? His daddy. What happens today? Daddy go to jail? Guess what? Son now go to jail. Because he following after his daddy's footsteps. Remember, his daddy was evil? So is he. So it's very important what you're teaching. Like he said in Hezekiah, get your house in order. Then we read over here in Sirach. Man, you can't, this our people, man. I'm giving you, every last one of y'all who listening to this and will listen to it, y'all know somebody who did these same things. You can't tell me you don't know nobody. Hey, daddy was bad. They went to jail. Then as soon as he up there, yeah, nigga, I'm the little nigga, and then he go to jail. But then he escapes. In his day, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years, and he turned and rebelled against him. And the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldees and the bands of Syrians and bands of Moabites and the bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it. And according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by his servant the prophets, surely at the commandments of the Lord came this upon Judah, to remove them out of his sight. To remove them out of his sight. Man, I am so sick and tired of you Negroes. I am so sick and tired of y'all. Look what he sent. He sent them all, boy. Most High was mad. The Chaldeans, the Babylonians, and bands of Syrians, and bands of Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent against Judah to destroy it. Verse 4. And also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Lord would not pardon. He run around just killing our folks. Black on black crime was way before our time. It didn't just start in the 80s. It didn't just start at that time. We've been doing this. We've been doing it. Our kings were doing it. So ain't nothing new under the sun, brother. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Oh boy. And also the innocent blood which he said, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, for which the Lord would not pardon. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiakim, his son, reigned. His son, Jehoiakim and Jehoiachin, or Jehoiakim, the N and the M. And he reigned 598 to 597. Let's see what he did. Verse, where we stop at? I'm sorry. 6? Yeah, so Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiakim, his son, reigned in his stead. And the king of Egypt came not any more out of his land. So Egypt said, man, I ain't finna mess with them no more. For the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates, because now here Babylon is finna run things. Nebuchadnezzar finna go take over. He becoming the king of the world. Protect Euphrates that and all that pertained to the king of Egypt. Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. And his mother's name was Nehushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of his generational curses. Down his daddy did it. Then his son did it. Now his son. The daughter, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father had done. At this time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, and he and his mother, and his servants, and his princes, and his officers, and the king of Babylon took him in the 18th year of his reign. So he had reigned for a good while. Oh no, that's the 18th year of his reign, meaning the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign. And he carried out thence all the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and cut it in pieces all the vessels of gold, which Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said. And he carried away all Jerusalem. Remember, he know they rich. He know they rich. Think about it. Remember, Hezekiah showed him everything. He know they rich. I'm finna go get this gold. I already got that. I done shut Egypt up. Egypt don't want to bother me. I'm finna go take these kids and golds over here, man. I'm finna go take it. They God can't work, man, because the other was gone. The Syrians took them. So I'm finna go take these people. And he carried away all of Jerusalem and all of the princes. Let me get this, because this is what they was knowing about our people. Let's go to Judah chapter 5. Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. They know that about us. Do we know it about ourselves? Apparently we don't. They know that about us. That's why they love to keep us in sin. And you don't think this world is about us? Yes, there is about you. He said, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. Now, these other nations know, man, do not mess with them. That's why they scared when they see us rising up. That's why they scared when they see us on them streets. That's why they get scared when they see us out keeping the law. When you going up there and tell them you don't eat pork, hey, man, they get worried about that. Why ain't you eating pork? What's so bad about it? It'd be mostly our people. But they wondering about that. Dang it. Hold on. What y'all literally finna trying to do the Bible? Oh, you can't do that. Can't nobody do it. How y'all doing that? We just read it and say, hey, we're gonna do it. Same opportunity our fathers had back in the time. Some of them did it, some of them didn't. We learned about the ones that did, and we learned about the ones that didn't. Like I read the first two books, the Romans 15:4 and Deuteronomy 32:7. This is for our learning. Let's go to 2 Maccabees 8:36. Just to brush up a little more on that. 2 Maccabees chapter 8 and verse, dang, did I say 36? That ain't what I want. Three and 36. My bad. Second Maccabees chapter 3 verse 36, and that he should place strangers in all their quarters and divide their land by lot. So the king took the half of those forces that remained and departed from Antioch, his royal city, in 140 year, and having passed the river Euphrates, he went through the high countries. And it's the same thing that happened with us then, and it's happened to us again. Why I have that then? That is not. It's not what I wanted, but. Second, let's see something real quick. I have to look that back up. I can't read my own writing. Okay, so let's go back to 24, and where did I stop at? Yeah, 14, 15. 16. And all the men of might, and the 7,000, and the craftsmen, and the smiths 1,000, all that were strong, apt for war, even them, the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. Now, he done took all them princes, all them, they gone, they took them to Babylon. And the king of Babylon made Benaniyah, his father's brother's king in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah is now king of Israel. He done took all other kings. Boy, them others be straight going to jail. They just be getting took. I'm going to take y'all king. I'm going to take y'all king. I'm going to take y'all. Boy, that's all the father, the daddy. Just all of them went to jail. But the whole nation's still there. You king. We're finna take your king, their mama, his servants, and all his people out of his house. We gonna take them. You be king now. And now Zedekiah is the king. And Zedekiah is from 597 to 587. 597 or 597 to 586. Because we're finna see what happens at this time. Verse 18, and Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah, because it says 597 to 587, that's around 11 years. 597 to 586, it's around 11 years. It's about right. So, for through the anger of the Lord it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah until he had cast them out from his presence. And Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came, he and all the hosts, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and they built forts against it round about, put a siege behind it. And the city was besieged until the 11th year of King of Zedekiah. So he was starving them out 11 years. And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land. And the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled by night by the way of the gate between two walls, which is by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain. And the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. And all his army was scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him. They gave judgment. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 34, chapter 1. I ain't tripping. I don't know why. I was just looking in the New Testament, knowing darn well Jeremiah is not in the New Testament. Jeremiah chapter 34, verse 1. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, all his army, and all the kingdoms of the earth of his dominion. So now you know who was at this time when Jeremiah was one of the prophets during the Babylonian. Remember we read about Isaiah and Jeremiah. At this same time, they was out being prophets of the Most High. Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylon, and all his army, and all his kingdoms of the earth of his dominion, and all of the people fought against Jerusalem and against the cities thereof, saying, Thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, king of Judah, and tell him, Thus said the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire, and shall not escape out of his hand, but thou shalt surely be taken and delivered into his hand, and thy eyes shall behold the eyes of the king of Babylon, and he shall speak with thee mouth to mouth, and thou shalt go to Babylon. Yet hear the words of the Lord, O Zedekiah, king of Judah. Thus said the Lord of thee, Thou shalt not die by the sword, but thou shalt die in peace, and with the burnings of thy fathers, the former kings, which were before thee. So shall they burn odors for thee, and they will lament thee, saying, Our Lord, for I have pronounced the words, said the Lord. Then Jeremiah the prophet spake all the words unto Zedekiah, king of Judah, in Jerusalem. When the king of Babylon armies fought against Jerusalem and against all the cities of Judah that were left at Lachish, against Azekah, for these defense cities remain of the cities of Judah. This is the word that came unto Jeremiah from the Lord after that the king Zedekiah had made a covenant with all the people which were at Jerusalem to proclaim liberty unto them, that every man should let his manservant, every man his handmaid, being a Hebrew or a Hebrewess, go free, that none should serve himself of them, wit of a Jew brother. Now when all the princes and all the people which had entered into the covenant had heard that that everyone should let his manservants and everyone his manservants go free, that none should serve themselves of them anymore, then they obeyed and let them go. Meaning they got to let them go. That means, and then you're gonna go, if you go read down, they're gonna go into the 7 years, because they didn't want to let him go, even though they just made a covenant saying that they would let him go. Then they didn't want to let him go. And then at that time, man, we have 586. At this time, he was there 11 years. And now the northern kingdom is gone. And there is where we have fallen. And we've gone into captivity. Both kingdoms are destroyed. Both kingdoms are gone. All of the people are gone into captivity. And now you have all the kings. You should have them all marked down. If you need the rest of them, go back and watch the videos. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 1. And I'm going to close this out on this what I'm going to read. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Boy, like I said, man, ain't nothing like reading them stories, boy. I don't know why people ain't made no movies out of them, boy. It had to be. It was great to me. I don't know how y'all took it. Maybe my reading was horrible, man. But that story there be just, boy, that gets our people, boy. When you see our people and what they do and how they operate it, well, I guess you can go turn on TV right now because we're still doing the same thing. This says, moreover, brother, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, all passed through the sea, and all were baptized unto Moses in the cloud, meaning we had received the law, statutes, and commandments, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, meaning we all got that same spirit of the Most High, which was them law, statutes, and commandments, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. And for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was Yahweh. Even back then, at the time of Moses, they was receiving Yahweh, because Yahweh is the word. So he is the law, statutes, and commandments. But with many of them, God was not well pleased, that we have just read. A lot of our kings, God was not well pleased with. They just was not. But with many of them, God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. And now these things were our examples. These were our look. Well, we had read about the kings and all of our kings on both sides. These were examples. Some of them you need to go do how they did it. Some of them you do not do how they did it. Don't do none of that. Now, these things were an example to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. We shouldn't be doing the way the one of them evil ones were. That's what a lot of times we can read. He did evil before the sight of the Most High. And that's what he was telling us. Look, we shouldn't do that. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. We should be get out of Christianity. Don't even go back to even entertaining it. Don't go looking at it. Don't go looking for it, because you're going to mess around, hear something that's going to sound good to your ears, because your ears is itching like a son of a gun. And now you just, ooh, I got it. And then you're going to come back and thinking you're going to try to put that in over here. It ain't going to work. So, hey, leave that stuff alone. Don't go back to none of them idols. Because some of y'all got idols that you don't even know about. Some of y'all idolize stuff that you don't know, that you don't even think idols. Man, squash all the basketball. I love basketball. I love football. But man, squash them Negroes. I ain't making a dime off of them. It's one thing my dad used to always say. What you all cheering for them like that for? They don't pay you. And they don't. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written. The people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed by serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured. Remember, they were murmuring and complaining while they was in the wilderness. And were destroyed after they just got out of slavery. Still, now the Most High brought you into the truth. Why are you still murmuring and complaining? Because everything didn't go your way? It ain't finna go your way like that. And that's what a lot of people think. I'm in the truth. Shouldn't that happen to me? No. I think a lot of my stuff happened when I got in the truth. You got to be tried in the fire. You're not going to escape it. Now, all these things happened, this verse 11. Now, all these things happened unto them for ensamples, and They are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. Lest he fall. There had no temptation taken you, but such as be common to man. You ain't going through nothing ain't nobody else done went through, man. Ain't nothing came up on you that they come up on somebody else. So quit it. Quit being a victim all the time. And that's what they say. Black people need to quit being a victim. Yes, we need to quit being a victim to our circumstances. Because it ain't the circumstances that make you. It's believing in the Most High, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That should be what you stand on. That should be what you. I don't stand on my victimhood. I stand on my manhood, which is keeping these laws. Period. He said, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. You ain't got nothing on you can't get out of. That's one thing I tell myself all the time. No matter how hard it get, I be like, well, it's something I can get out of, because the Most High said he ain't going to put nothing on me that I can't get away out of it. There's no way. So that means no matter what you think, how bad you think it is, if you look and remember these scriptures like this, hey, he said I can get out of all of it, so let me trust in him. He said, above thee that are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. It's going to be always a way out. It's like like I said about that dang on storm. I didn't think about it like that. Then, boy, as soon as it got calm, I'm like, oh, man, I'm tripping. So, there you go. And on that note, I'm going to say good night to y'all and shalom. Hallelujah. Man,